And there was like a moment in a different video when I was way younger that I was like judging myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, why am I being so hard on her? And then seeing that and being like, well, I've really pushed that down. Why? For who? For who? Whose benefit? It's not mine.
Yeah, it is.
Like, not mine.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for American Mime Theater and...
Welcome to Stars and Stars with Issa. This is the show where we look to the stars above with the stars below. I'm Issa Nakazawa, your host and resident astrologer. And today I'm so excited to be joined in the studio with the one and only Kelsey Lu. Lu is a singer, cellist, composer, and multidisciplinary artist. From their haunting and introspective debut EP, Church, to their deeply intimate first studio album, Blood, in 2019, Lu's music is impossible to confine to just one genre. The atmosphere they create feels ancient and futuristic all at once, from the instrumentals to the visuals. And most of all, it's enchanting, which, as you'll hear in our conversation, really speaks to their Venus-ruled chart. And on June 12th, Lu's long-awaited new album, So Help Me God, arrives. And today they join me to talk all about the new record and what it really means to run toward the pain. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Well, Lu, it's such a pleasure for everyone listening. I've been trying to book you since season 1 because I'm a super fan of your just how you move through the world, your art, and now it feels actually like the perfect timing. So
it really does.
Yeah,
it really does.
You're on interview 3 today. How are you feeling?
Oh man,
my dear?
I'm feeling great. We had a little food break at, I always want to say Defender, but it's not that.
Destroyer or something.
Yeah.
Some intense word.
Yeah, Destroyer.
So you're fueled up.
I'm fueled up.
Yeah.
I had a glass of wine.
Okay, I wish I had that, because as we all know, we're in Taurus season.
Exactly.
You are a Taurus sun,
yeah,
which we're going to talk about. I always love when there's a synchronicity and I get to read for someone during the season.
Yeah.
And you've been moving, it seems like. You just did Blue Note New York. I'm staying, so I'm going to catch you on Saturday at Blue Note Los Angeles.
Yes.
How's it feeling? Like, we just came, you've running to pain, like it's all happening.
Yeah, it's all happening. You know, going 7 years of just kind of being on, not that like the entire 7 years I was on my own, but for a large majority of it, kind of moving within my own space of finding myself within music again and finding my people again, to help usher forth this new wave and this new journey and this next chapter, and so many of the things that I've been calling in are actually happening. And you know, it can feel really overwhelming, especially when they overlap on top of each other. You know? I'm like, oh, I asked for this.
Right, the mantra.
I need to maybe be a little bit more specific in like the spells that I cast. Like
relatable?
Like, you know, like give a date. Like,
Date conjuring.
Date conjuring. Like, oh, I want this to come in, but don't let it happen at the same time as everything. Please.
No, the universe loves trolling. Like, it's all quiet. 7 years a spell.
Oh, man.
I always ask people, like, what your relationship has been, if there has been, like, to astrology in the cosmos. Yeah. Personally or just in general.
Well, it was something that was like a no-no growing up. And so because of that, of course, I was like, what's up with it? And I went and saw the play or the musical Jesus Christ Superstar.
Amazing.
And I was like, Age of Aquarius. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I was like, Aquarius? And then I was like, whoa, signs. And I was like, whoa. And then my roommate had... in college had the like astrology birthday book.
Yes.
And so then I was like, whoa, this is really interesting. And then through that I flipped to mine and it was like I fall on the day of the mischievous maverick. And I was like, relatable.
You're like, if I don't say so like, myself.
This is
you are that.
Spot on. Yes. Yeah.
Mischievous maverick?
Yeah. So I do readings, or I with people, and it's all, except for one, my one psychic that I go to. The readings that I go to are obviously like astrology based.
Amazing.
And I don't know, I always felt that it's helpful guides, kind of helping me see where I'm at currently, what the universe is sort of like providing for me, or what I'm rejecting, or
exactly.
what I'm like ignoring or embracing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's also a beautiful way of maybe like giving some compassion to yourself and also to other people.
Yeah, I love that.
And a sort of source of connection.
I love that. Yeah, for me, it really does serve as like my first love was music. And I always felt like music, playing guitar growing up, I remember learning about notation and music theory and being like, oh, this is just something that humans created so that humans could play together. So like a shared vocabulary. And I felt like astrology as a symbolic language that stretches across all place and time is similar to music, where it's like we created this language to understand that to confirm that we're part of the cosmos.
Yeah.
And that there's this wise celestial intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm a Taurus rising, you're a Taurus sun, like just loving to be in a deliberate conversation with nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, for our listeners, you are a Libra rising, a Taurus sun, both Venus ruled, and then a Leo moon, which makes so much sense. But the character that doesn't get introduced until later is Gemini. So we gotta name Gemini because it's your Venus and Mercury. And I really feel it in you. I really feel her.
Yeah, she's out here.
So I was like, for Lu's episode, I'm going to name some of the other planets. Also, I feel like for musicians, like Venus and Mercury are so critical.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do start with the ascendant because it's the most personal place in the chart. Sometimes I like to think about it quite literally, of like we ascend into this lifetime in this form, and it gives us clues about what you're here to do. And we call the planet ruler the helm of your ship, which I think is really beautiful. But I find that Libra risings are these lights, these like sorcerers of like beauty and texture and harmony, but they come and emerge out of this soil that has been about like a kind of restrained upbringing at times. And you talk about it very openly about growing up Jehovah's Witness. And I wonder for people who are just encountering you, if you can take us back to young Lu.
Yeah.
And kind of describe for people the early context that raised you. And the last thing I will add is you also started training cello very young.
Yeah, I started playing cello at 9. But even before that, I started playing piano. I mean, there was always a piano in the house, but I started taking violin lessons when I was like 5.
Oh my gosh.
And then I switched to piano, and then I switched back to violin because I really wanted to be in an orchestra. So I went back to taking violin lessons, and then I was in my violin lesson, and my teacher, Sarah Schlechter, had like, there was this cello like leaning up against the window, and it was like sirening me. It was like I was like calling my name. And I kept looking back, and she noticed that I was looking back. She was like, do you want to take it home? And it was like, that was all she wrote. And we just like fell in love. It was like we were meant to be. Also, one of the reasons why I wanted to get back to also playing in an orchestra, because that was the place that I got to be with kids that weren't Jehovah's Witnesses.
Interesting.
And we went, which I'm just realizing right now in this moment. I'm like, oh. I'm like, Right. Yeah. Because growing up Jehovah's Witnesses, like, it's like you're pretty isolating. You're in your community that you're in, and going outside of it, it's like, is only when you absolutely have to. So I was raised to believe that was going to be my life forever. And then when I reached into my teenage years, and I was like, this is not really the way. I ran away, and I left. And music was the ship, was like my escape valve. And to me, like living my truth and living the life that I wanted to live. And so through that, a lot of music as being at this core, but then also like rebellion like this natural instinct of like, it doesn't feel right. Like, what is actually, like, what really feels good to me? But then also, you know, I remember little Lu, I was always in the dirt. I was always playing outside, like, loved bugs, loved hiking, loved just, like, being in nature as much as possible.
And you were in North Carolina, right?
I was in North Carolina. I started doing ketamine therapy, like, a few years ago. And one of the first sessions that I had, I kind of, like, time traveled back to when I was a kid, and I was hanging out with my best friend at the time, Lexi, and across the street from her house there was like a park, and we would go over there and we'd hang out, and I went back to that memory and remembered being on this playground and feeling so alone and like not really getting along with other kids, not feeling like understood or seen, and just walking away and being by myself and like finding bugs and finding like things that I was like, you're my friends. Yeah. Like so nature is my friend. Like and I was like, wow. And it was really beautiful being able to go back to that memory and like hold myself. Yeah. And that, like, as an adult. Also in one of these sessions I had, and I got, actually it was that session, I came out of it, and my dad had sent me like a flood of texts that were all home videos from when I was a kid, from like when I was like very like maybe like 2 up until, you know, I was like maybe like 12 or something. Whoa. And I found myself looking at these videos that I hadn't seen since like forever ago. There's this one where I'm like in the backyard, and it's me and my sister and mom, and we're like preparing like a dinner. We're like gonna eat outside. It was like summer when we were gonna have dinner outside, and my sister's setting the table, and I'm like going around the table like la, 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 like a freak, like I'm like doing all these like weird movements and like in my sister's face, and she's like, stop. And I'm just like, and my dad's behind the camera, and he's like, look at this nut. And I was like, and then it brought me back to that. I was like, wow, I've like pushed something down in myself that like, but when I watched it, I was like, whoa,
who's that?
Who is that? And there was like a moment in a different video when I was way younger that I was like judging myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, why am I being so hard on her? And then seeing that and being like, wow, I've really pushed that down. Why? For who? For who? Whose benefit? It's not mine.
Yeah, it is.
Like, not mine.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for American Mime Theater, and
as you should. But that's a good example of when an unexpected encounter with the past reminds us of a part of ourselves, a fragment of a part of ourselves that throughout adult life, you accumulate these dimming things. But I feel you on the judgment, because sometimes it's both.
Yeah.
You're like, I love that part of me, but also... We just interviewed Saul Williams, and he was talking about, like, looking at footage of himself being like, you are very angry, sir. And then immediately being like, and I know why I'm angry. And I was like, that's really relatable. I was like, wow, that's... Because you and I both have fire moons.
God, yeah.
And your moon is, like, it's your physical body. It's just your internal patterning. I think when you have fire there, a part of you needs to be lit. There's a light switch. And when it's off too long... And especially Leo, like Leo's the archetype of the artist and the child. Like the child is that part of us that's not thinking about, I was just talking to Mateo about as a woman being socialized into sexiness and seduction and all of this, you know, kind of unconscious material that really starts young. And then it's so hard to retrieve the part of ourself that wants to express. And I'm so curious about that for you. I mean, you're definitely one of, I feel like you're someone who... I love the word enchant for Venus. Like Venus enchants. And I think about the Orphic hymns, and they would enchant sometimes the sailors or sometimes their enemies. They would enchant them with song. which I'm like, oh, that's amazing, because that's kind of what artists do.
Yeah, I definitely do that. I definitely do that to my enemy.
Yes. Cast a spell. But that enchantment, I think, is such a big part of Venus. And it's not talked about enough, because I think we just think of like beauty and all these is like, but beauty's not soft.
No.
It's also, you know, it's a conjuring. So I'm curious, like, that early awareness. Like, I, to be honest, wasn't even sure if the cello was like, was that a choice? Was that something put on you? Like, I don't know that story of like when the music felt like yours, or was it something that was your parent? You know, I don't know.
Yeah. We found each other.
Wow, so young.
Yeah, really young. Like, and yeah, it was just like, it was kind of like, at the first note, it was like as if we'd been together forever. Like, it was like, there was just something I felt so sure about it.
Wow.
It was like it almost felt like we'd been together in a past life without me knowing anything about past life or anything like that. But it was just, I felt really at home, and I felt like I want to play this forever. Like, I remember just being like, I want to keep playing. I don't want to stop playing. I'm playing, and I was like, I don't want to stop. Like, I love this so much. And when I went to North Carolina School of the Arts for it, you know, that was my first, I ran away from, I ran away from home, but like, I skipped school when I was in high school. I skipped school and drove to Winston-Salem, which is where NCSA is. And I like sat outside of the cello professor's door, waiting for him to come down the hall to like beg for him to like teach me. And then I played for him. He was like, "Oh well, yeah, I'll find as much money as I can for you to like help you get in here," because I told him my situation and all this stuff. And bless him, Brooks, love you, Brooks.
Yeah, bless him.
But you know, also within that first year, it was like so many. It was like I was like starting life new. It was like I was like a baby, and in many ways, and it's a lot. It's really a lot. Imagine. And I was like, life new. Ooh, I want to like experience all the things. I was like doing psychedelics, and I was like, I want to be in dance class. I want to be in this class. Like, yeah. And I was like, I want to, like, this, I'm bored. I'm bored in music. Like, I need something else. Like, explore. Like, expand. Like, this is, after my first year, I was kind of like, I can't leave music. It's like a part of me. We're together forever. But I have to find a different kind of outlet. I mean, you know, when I was meant to be in the practice room, practicing whatever I was meant to be practicing, I would be like putting my cello up on my lap like a guitar and like writing songs, as I needed a way to express all of the tumultuous feelings I was feeling at the time. And I was, you know, depression was like kicking in really crazy. Suicide started kicking in really heavily. And the only really outlet that I had was music, and the way that it had been my outlet for so long just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. And so that's really when I started kind of writing music, writing my own songs, and you know, improvising. I would like go into the dance studio with like my dancer friends, and I would just like play while I danced. And then when I left North Carolina School of the Arts, I joined up with some like local musicians and played with them, joined like a nonprofit, and we would throw concerts and shows in town. And the first like big show that we had with like P-Funk, and it was like this whole thing. It was like really cool. And we had like an after party at someone's place, and I did Ecstasy for the first time. And I was like on the back porch and like feeling great. Or it might have been MDMA. Wait. Anyways. And I was like, this is great. And then somebody started playing guitar, and then I just started singing. And it was like kind of, I was like a secret singer. Like, I love singing, but I like never sang in front of anyone. And then everyone went quiet and just turned around and was like, what?
Because they hadn't heard you before.
No. And they were like, what?
Okay, well, like, bless this MDMA.
I know. Listen.
Took the guard down for your girl.
Took the guard down for your girl. So, Blue, how did you get, how did your singing career start? MDMA.
Yeah, I mean, because you have...
MDMA, it opened me up. It brought me up.
I mean, it kind of does do that. For our fixed signs, we need some help.
Yeah, we need a little...
Liberate us. For real.
Yeah, seriously.
Sometimes you need to liberate the, hidden skills.
Yeah.
Did this feel actually a really big awakening? Because I feel like for me, singing is super vulnerable. Yeah. Not to say that cello isn't, but there's I'm just imagining you going from these states of not that they end, but these states of depression and of kind of alienation, not feeling that connection to then feeling that recognition by people. Yeah. And then the actual act of singing is, to me, incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Was that a liberating feeling to be seen? It was
so liberating. I don't know. I loved it. It's also it's funny how, I don't know, I think about even when I'm on stage, doing these Blue Note shows, you know, last weekend, and I was like, damn, I haven't felt this feeling in a really long time. It's not like I haven't been performing over these past 7 years, but and when I've been performing, it's not like I haven't been performing my music.
Right.
There was just something that it's like a switch turned on.
Yes.
That brought me back to a very similar feeling that I felt then, where I was just like, I'm having the time of my life. Yes. I'm not thinking about am I doing this right? Or oh, did I miss that note? I'm just enjoying myself, fully enjoying myself. And I think then maybe it's because yes, singing is vulnerable, but I also think that playing in an orchestra is extremely vulnerable because you really have to be in tune with your neighbors. Yeah. You really have to pay attention. If you play something wrong, you weren't not hiding. It's it's very obvious.
Yeah.
And you're on a stage. And so there's a lot of you can mask it by airbowing if you really, which I have done.
No, but you're right. That is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think that's why at least the songs that you've been releasing from So Help Me God, which drops June 12th, have been resonating with me so much. And it's not just that. It's your whole body of work. But I think as I've gotten older, just the embracing of that spectrum of emotion in me and really honoring that beyond the platitude of saying it is really deepening my own life and my own emotional nature. And when you drop Running to Pain, I was like, running to pain? It's I love that. Yeah. So I just feel we're in this era of avoiding it almost or exalting it. It's just, I don't know how to perfectly describe it, but we went through this whole joy fixation. Some of that was beautiful. Then it got a little weird. But I'm a Scorpio, so I'm okay, joy's cute, but let's go to the other side. Yeah. But by the way, what's beautiful to tie it into your astrology that I was that makes so much sense is that your Taurus sun sits in the 8th house of Scorpio, and the houses feel so confusing, but they're not. They're the symbolic arenas where the planets, you can imagine it the planet lives in a house, and your Taurus sun is in the opposite sign house of Scorpio, and so that feels so you to me because like you said, I mean, Running to Pain, just to ground it in a song, to me, the video, the visuals I sent to so many friends because I was like, this is so it. Just the repulsion and intimacy and the freedom and then the fear, all of it to me is love. Self-intimacy, partner love, friend love, sibling love. Yeah. And I just felt your facial expressions and all of the ways you embodied that in the person in the video, I was like, this is it. Lu really, I felt the 7 years. I felt the earned 7 years of what it takes to say that in the poem and then to make that in the visual. So I just wanted to know about that concept of Running to Pain and this body of work in particular. What have you been breaking open or living into in these 7 years?
Probably cracking the eggs of denial of maybe what isn't serving me, allowing myself to also look at the past that been like, I knew it wasn't, but I just want to have a good time.
Ooh.
And also within that good time, know that it was a bad time, but that was also like fueling me in some way. And even though that wasn't the healthiest thing, I can still look at that and be like, well, that was a part of my life, and I can still love myself through it. Like a lot of sitting and meditating on the parts of self that maybe we don't want to really sit with. And the video, I made it with a good friend of mine, Savannah Leaf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did that incredible film?
Earth Mama that I scored.
Mama.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Oakland, so it was like huge.
Oh,
Yeah. It was huge for us.
Yeah. Bay. And also there's like an intimacy there already of a friend, like knowing you and being a collaborator in your life on an emotional plane, where kind of when I was at the beginning, or not at the beginning, but like at a point where I'd moved back to New York and I was like living upstate, and she like came upstate and stayed with me for a little bit, and I was like playing her songs kind of in their like raw form, and we were like and then to experience like the growth of its like finish.
Wow.
And also shooting something that it was in a really difficult location. Like it was really trying. It was on a volcanic island.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. There was like a lot of like emotional rupture happening during the shooting of it. And we were basically like covering a lot of the album. And everything felt very like serendipitous and fate-filled. And like, some of my best friends were there that have also been with me over the past 7, like have also known what I've gone through over the past 7 years.
Wow.
And even though they were there and I knew I had them there, I still was like at many times like deep in this like well of emotion. But I also like wanted to allow myself to be there because I wanted that to also shine through. There are nuances in our everyday life, and the small things can be the largest things. And so being able to capture some of those nuances was really important. And when Garance and I were like in bed with one another, and Savannah was like, like feel like you're like a little like you're a little uncomfortable. You're like kind of get off of me, but like I can't stand you, but like I like you.
Yeah, I got it
also
immediately.
like, but also like God, like get off of me.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing this again? Like,
yes.
But then you're back into it again, and the push and pull of either a relationship with someone else, but also your relationship with self, and that it's constantly up and down,
Yeah.
But there's like bravery and strength and running towards it, and the only way out is through. And yeah, I like to go into the pain.
But one of my questions, the Leo-ness, like you have this, again, the word enchant, like you enchant me so much with your style decisions. This feels also Gemini Venus. You're always going to give me something different.
Yeah.
Like the textures, the colors, but also the silhouettes and the looks. And it's always so fun and exciting, like what the vibe is going to be. Yeah. And I know you actually tagged a stylist, which I was like, oh, I'm so curious, like how you choose to work with people. And is it very instinctual, like what you, or is it actually more methodical, like what your looks like right now?
It kind of depends. Well, shout out Becky Akinyore. I don't know how methodical it is. Maybe, definitely if it's like a sense of place. Like for these Blue Note shows, for example, I was like, ooh, I want to do something like classic. like jazz, club, blue note, like glam.
That's what it's giving so far.
Glam, like fun glam. But then, you know, I did a shoot with Collier Schur, and it was like, no glam. It was like, don't want to do glam. And I don't know, I like fluctuating. I guess it's really dependent on how I'm feeling, on the mood, also on the place. Like, also a Taurus loves to be like comfortable, but then also like doing the most.
Yeah. That's your chart.
That's my chart.
Everyone is Leo doing the most. But we also got to shout out the Gemini Venus. Because I feel like Gemini is the one, Gemini is the mutability in your chart, right? Like every sign has an orientation, and mutable signs are the both and signs.
Yeah.
And that to me is the genius of Gemini. It's like, it's never going to be, it's the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
It's never going to just be like in one energy.
No.
And that's why I was asking you. So I was like, it did feel like you were giving a certain like blue note, classy moment.
Yeah.
But then you'll switch it up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's life without a little switch up, you know?
I am really curious about your wisdom. Maybe that's too big of a word. But I don't know. Lately, I just like love asking people for what they've learned in love. Because you just have love all over your chart. And I'm 39 and I'm just really curious at our age. We're different ages, but at our age and stage in life, like, yeah, what do you feel like you're living into? Like, what new truths are emerging in? And you can interpret love however you want.
I think I'm showing up to love with less judgment. I didn't realize how much judgment I'd actually held within love.
Really?
Yeah. But, you know, a lot of that, I'm like, to self.
Got it. Yeah.
But also externally, this like expectation, high expectations of some level of like perfection.
Yeah.
And that's really unfair. That's really unfair and unreasonable. An allowance for mistakes. I also think that like I'm allowing anger to exist.
Wow, that's
in
big.
my life, like I which I think is really loving,
Yeah.
because that's a really, really hard emotion to allow in a healthy way, to allow yourself to express
Yeah.
in a way that isn't harmful or like damaging
Or too repressed.
But also, if it is harmful, just being like, that hurt, like, damn,
Yeah.
like that. But also, you're allowed to be angry, and I don't love you any less for that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess exploring anger in a way that I've repressed.
Yeah, it may also, to me, really ties into the Libra Aries lesson of like, how do we incorporate Mars and Venus? I think that's what astrology's done for me. It's like there's a place for everything. It's kind of like music. That's when it swings.
Yeah.
And there's a collaboration with our inner dynamic and then our dynamic with yours. So how do we create enough space for ourselves and everyone else to swing? And it sounds really easy, and it's not.
I'm like, that
really
doesn't sound easy. I'm like, that's
well, you know, it's easy to say a poetic thing.
Right.
But then you're in it and you're like, oh,
whoa.
Well, Lou, it has been such a pleasure. I don't want to, I know you're 3 interviews deep. I'm so impressed.
No, it's
and
been great.
It's
Thanks
just
so
really
much.
a dream come true to have you on the show.
The timing was right.
It was. Our timing. And I want to know if you want to shout out, how can people connect to the album? When can
well, you know, you can connect to it by pre-saving.
Yes.
So Help Me God comes out June 12th. I'll be releasing some more singles leading up to it. And videos and visuals, and there'll be a film coming out with the release of the album, so that's also something to look forward to. And there will be a fall tour. There'll be,
Okay,
there'll be
great.
stuff in the works, things in the works. But yeah, just sign up to my newsletter. I have a newsletter. So sign up, and then you can find out all the good things that are to come.
Thank you so much for being on,
Thanks
Lu.
for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
That was Kelsey Lu, who is a Taurus sun. As always, to end the show, I want to leave you with some key takeaways we can all benefit from, inspired by our stars chart. So one of the most beautiful themes in Lu's chart is that both their Taurus sun and Libra rising are ruled by the planet Venus. Now, often when we think of Venus, we think of love and aesthetics, but it's also what helps us feel connected to life. It can show us what restores us, what guides us, and what reminds us of our own worth. And Lu spoke to that so clearly when they described growing up in a restrictive Jehovah's Witness environment and feeling isolated, eventually needing to leave home in order to live more truthfully. But throughout all of that journey, music remained. They said music was the ship or the escape valve, and when they first encountered the cello, it was like a siren calling their name. And that's where the astrology becomes so powerful and moving to me, because the ruler of our ascendant often gives us clues about how we navigate life, especially during difficult seasons. It can point us to the medicine that we're meant to keep returning to. And for Lu, Venus seems to have moved through music. Moving from isolation to connection, repression to expression, and survival to artistry again and again. And I think that's such an important reminder that sometimes what saves us isn't always something we have to go out there and find, but it's the very gift within us that has been trying to lead us home all along. And that's it for our download from the cosmos this week. If you like today's episode, please leave a comment to keep the conversation going. Hit that subscribe button. And remember, we're live on YouTube every Wednesday answering your cosmic questions. Thank y'all so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.